Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hope Knight, President and CEO of Empire State Development, Rosanna Rosada, Secretary of the City of New York, Mayor Michael Koa, Village Orchestra, Mayor Rita Levin, Village Mountain, Mark Gordon, Business Council of Westchester. Please welcome the 57th Governor of the State of New York, Mayor Governor Kathy Hochul.
Wonderful to see everybody here. Thank you everyone for coming out. What a great day this is for our local communities. Thank you everyone here who has supported this initiative. And I want to recognize a very esteemed group of people. Rosanna Rosado, the Secretary of State. Of Empire State Development. Senator Elijah Reichman Melnick. Senator James Skoufis. Assemblywoman Sandy Gaylock. Assemblyman Ken Zabrowski. Mayor Rita Levin. Mayor Michael Koa, Village Orchestra. Supervisor Dana Levenberg, Town Council. All other elected officials here with us today. We hope we didn't leave anyone out, but welcome everybody. And I want to introduce my colleagues at the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council members, my good friend and colleague, Al Samuels, President and CEO of the Rockland Business Association. Tom Carey, President of Westchester Putnam Central Labor Council. Jonathan Drafkin, President and CEO, Hudson Valley Pattern for Progress. Sue Gary, Senior Vice President, Westchester Medical WMC Health. Kimberly Jacobs, former Executive Director, Community Capital, New York. Ned Sullivan, President of Scenic Hudson. James Taylor, President and CEO, Taylor Biomass Energy, LLC. Young President, SUNY Orange Community College. All of our other economic development partners from around the region, as well as community organizations and community leaders who are here with us today, give yourselves a big round of applause. So I want to thank you, Governor Hochul, for your great dedication to focusing throughout your entire career on economic development and community revitalization in New York. I've had the honor of working with the governor for a long time now, when she was overseeing the regional economic development councils. So I know her commitment to improving New York and ensuring that we leave our state better for future generations. You've been a steadfast supporter of projects that positively change the landscape of our great state. Her vision for New York is so bold, and I'm thrilled to be working alongside her as we enact this vision. And we are so lucky to have a governor with, again, a bold and strong vision, a governor who knows that the future of our state depends on the actions that we all take today, on the infrastructure we build and the changes that we undertake. Under her leadership, we will bring about real, lasting change in New York. This is a testament to her vision for New York, and these investments will build on her infrastructure, foresight, and vision. She is, Governor Kathy Hochul is a fighter. She's a visionary, she's a doer, and we are so fortunate to have you, Governor, as our leader. Please give a warm welcome to the 57th Governor.
Amazing sites, a place where people are used to gathering and celebrating. And I want to thank everyone who's been involved in the process this legislature. Now, you don't know out here, right? Nobody let the cat out of the bag. I just thought this was just a party. It's what you do on Monday mornings, Monday afternoons. First of all, Marcia Gordon, you have been more than a friend. You're an extraordinary leader who has served this community through some really tough times. We did a lot of Zoom calls together during the pandemic, checking in to see how the businesses were doing, how the regional council was doing, and I want to thank you for helping us get through this, but also your advocacy for child care in the workplace and all the issues that you have worked on with me together. So let's give a round of applause to you. Secretary of State Rosado, who has loved working on this particular project, the DRIs, and she's done an amazing job. And she'll be leaving us soon, but we'll be announcing. I guess we already announced it. We'll announce it again. She's going to be. I said you're such a talented individual. Whatever you want to do in our administration, and her heart was in criminal justice services, and so she'll now be the leader of the criminal justice services for the state of New York. Soon to be replaced by Robert Rodriguez as Secretary of State, but she has left a mark that is incredible. I want to thank her for all her service. Brand new head of Empire State Development and brings such an incredible perspective on the opportunities that all these communities deserve. Let's give Hope Knight. I also have to say to our mayors, I've been a local official. I was elected local official for 14 years. I never got the kind of applause that your mayors get. So you're doing something right here. Michael Kohut, the mayor of the Village of Haverstraw, and Rika Levin, the mayor of Boston. So let's give them a round of applause. The senators are here, Elijah Reckler-Melnick. I want to thank him for his friendship, the advice he gives when we talk a lot on the phone. I thank you for that as well. Also, Assembly member Sam Galef is here, another great friend, Ken Zabrowski, we talked recently, I think even yesterday, and Senator James Skoufis. Let's give them a round of applause. Combined two communities to have an announcement. Maybe it's because I got a lot on my schedule for these days. I'm sure we gave a lot of love to our communities and not just put this out as a paper press release. When I stand here and I look out at a room like this, it does remind me of my early days of being a citizen activist in my hometown, a very small community, a community that had been beaten down. The industries that supported it, unlike the brick-making industry, we made steel where I come from. We made steel, and those were the jobs for thousands and thousands of people. It lifted so many people out of poverty, like my Irish immigrant grandparents. And when those jobs went overseas, our small town was crushed. We boarded up storefronts, places that we used to be able to shop and get shoes and women's clothing and jewelry. They were all gone. At the same time, the malls were coming in, sucking up all of the livelihood. Everybody went to the malls instead of walking the downtowns. It was disastrous. And my mother at this time, right when I graduated from law school, my first week out of law school, she says, I've decided I want to start a flower shop in our village. It's like, wow, not a good time, everything's closing. But she says, I didn't like the flowers that were done for your brother's wedding last year, and I think we need a better flower shop in this town. So her daughter, the lawyer, is told to start the business, file the paperwork, go down to the county clerk's office, which I've never been to before, to make sure I get all the paperwork done, and the DBA, and going to the bank to start. So I understood how challenging it was to start a small business in a little town that was spiraling out of control and decline. So my mother and I formed a coalition, a village action coalition, to gather all the businesses who had hung on and talk to them about how we can create a little bit more of a sense of downtown, a sense of community. People wanted to gather downtown once again and give that spirit of vitality that would have been sucked out of my community. And we were successful. And many years later, with a lot of support from other levels of government, we had the money to do what we needed to do. But no one ever handed me a check for $10 million, because I would have had a fabulous time with that. And I ran for local official. I was a council member for many years. And so I know personally how transformative a day like this can be, where people who've lived there a long time, or even the newcomers who discovered this beautiful part of our state during the pandemic because they wanted an escape, to see the potential, to understand the history, to celebrate what we have as an outstanding quality of life right in these two communities, but to give it that little extra boost that it needs, that extra resource to just say, how do you want it to be defined? You want a viable, livable, walkable downtown. You want connections to the waterfront. You want to make sure that there's gathering spaces. You want to make sure you celebrate the green space and create places people want to be together with their families and children and grandkids. You also want to have housing downtown. When I was growing up, the American dream was to live out in the suburbs, away from everybody else, and have that isolation, maybe even a picket fence to keep you separated from neighbors. That era has been long gone. People want to congregate in downtowns, but for too long there was not affordable housing options, or even housing options whatsoever. All of the storefronts that were there for decades, no one thought to put housing above them. No one thought of the possibilities, that people are willing to have smaller space, but they want the creative collisions that exist when you walk into a coffee shop and run into somebody you know, or have a chance to talk to the local baker and go to your local diners. This is what New York is all about. It's the small towns where they're populated by people who love them to their core and will find all kinds of ways to contribute. Our small businesses, our larger employers, the elected officials, the labor community works so hard to build, our business people who never give up. This is the ecosystem that is making New York so spectacular as we emerge from this pandemic. So investments in places like Ossining and Haverstraw, these are investments into the future. But most importantly, and I thank the members of the Regional Economic Development Council who worked so hard, many of you from the very beginning, and you see countless proposals come before you. But all of a sudden you say, yes, yes, that hit it. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's how the money can be used to give a comeback story to every one of these communities, because every community matters. And what we're going to do is, I've been starting to say, no longer is the era of Albany dictating your destiny. Because I was on the receiving end of that for a long time. Ask anybody at the Thruway Authority, the DOT, the DC. I battled everybody because I really thought that there was a disconnect between state government and the local government. When I took office exactly 3 months ago today, I said that era is over. I understand how important our local communities are. I understand the values of small villages and towns, and what they need to do is be liberated to do what they do best. Give them the resources, let their community members come up with their vision, not a vision driven by Albany, a vision driven by the local people who love their community. That's what this is all about, and that's why both of your communities have won $10 million each. Going forth, you'll be working together, put forth the projects. I know a lot of communities say they'll put forth maybe $15, $17 million of the projects. Go for it, it's still not going above 10 right now. But tell us the ones you believe in the most. We take some time to evaluate them, then we'll be coming forth and announcing the specific projects that you recommend that we have the resources to fund. So I look forward to returning many times for the groundbreakings, the ribbon cuttings, and all the signs that say these communities matter, and they are roaring back during this pandemic. So congratulations, everyone.
so overwhelmed. Governor, we thank you so much for being here. Not your first time, been here many times, so thank you. Thank you to my new friends who are here with us. To the mayor that I met today, not new, but I met you today, and have so everybody that was involved in doing all this. This is a week of gratitude, so I'll keep it short. I want to thank our village staff who really dropped everything in order to make sure that we get this done. You may not have felt that they dropped it because they're so good at their job that they kept going with what they were working on. This facility is one of the initiatives we're looking to benefit from this $10 million plus dollars. I heard what you said. I want to thank Karen Diatori, who is our everyday the board, the teams that work on this, because I've said this before, no individual can make these things happen. The teams of all of the people in Ossining are here today who have worked to really articulate what we all know, what we talked about a little bit in the back. This is a wonderful community. My husband and I chose to live here, raise our children. They were born here. I love this community. I'm going to see you for all the groundbreaking and all the things that are shovel ready. And to the folks from Harris Straw, welcome if you want to move here. And you're always welcome to come, spend your money, go back on your ferry, it's all good. I want to thank my board, all the staff, the chiefs of both the fire department, the superintendent, the police department, everybody else. And I am just so grateful on this week of Thanksgiving for all that you have done for us, for being here. Villages get so overlooked that I cannot top anything you said, because everything you said spoke to my heart. It's why we moved to a village like this, why we're staying here. I do want to thank my husband, Judge Mark Reisman, who hasn't seen me for the past 4 weeks, and the board of trustees who are always on my team, always working together. Thank you all, and congratulations.
Yes, thank you for hosting this fabulous facility. I wish my community center was as big as this one. Governor Hochul, I just wanted to say that hearing what you said was so important, and knowing that you come from the background of small government before you made your way up. I think you said you served 14 years at local level. I'm in my 14th year, so maybe I'm going somewhere. But it's really important because, as I told your predecessor many years ago, that the local level, we wipe the noses of our constituents. And that's really true. We serve them in the worst times and the craziest times and in the best times. And this opportunity that you're giving us is a once-in-a-lifetime deal that we have to make the most of it, and we're going to absolutely do that. I have some thank yous as well. Of course, two of my board members are here, Joel Santana and Ralph Bueno. My third board member, Joe Carlavaro, unfortunately wanted to be here but had double knee replacements last week, so he wasn't getting here. But his wishes are here. But one of the other people, or two of the other people I want to thank is our planners, Max Stock and Valerie Monastra from Nelson and Pope and Voorhees. They were the planners who put together the application, not just for Haverstraw, but for Ossining too. So they have a double win, and they've been fabulous, and they know our communities, as the rest of the REDC is going to know our communities very well over the coming time. We plan on spending the money well, we plan on doing it right, we plan on making a difference, and we have everyone here to thank. And I just want to give one shout out to Al Samuels from the RBA, who's on the REDC. I know he was a huge champion for the Village of Haverstraw, and I thank you immensely, and I plan on using you as we go forward in this process, Al. So thank you very much, and thank you all. Thanks again.